Yo, what up, Lucid Crew? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Lucid Rob, and today we're going to look at videos from all over the internet, videos that you send me so we can talk about what's going on in the world, try to figure out if the stuff we're watching is real or fake, or I don't know what's going on, man. The world is so crazy right now. If you like what you see, consider liking, subscribing to the channel, sharing, commenting, all that stuff. Join the Discord if you want to send me videos you want me to see. The link's in the description. Let's do it.
The dead internet theory relies on the idea that the internet as we knew it died back in 2016, and since then, everything we see online is artificially generated content created to gaslight the entire world. Now, when you first hear that, you might think it's just another conspiracy, which it is, but it is one that has some truth to it. Every day, the line between human creation and machine creation gets a little bit more blurred. Timothy Shoup from the Copenhagen Institute for Future Studies predicts that by 2026, 99% of the internet will be generated by artificial intelligence. And to give you an idea of this, take a look at ChatGPT. You can create a week's worth of blog or Twitter content in just 5 minutes. Now, imagine what that might look like in 5 years with just how fast things are upgrading. So no, the internet isn't dead yet, but there are some things we need to work out to prevent it from dying.
I saw other videos on the dead internet theory. I've done a couple on this channel as well, and to take it a little further than just like the topics shared in this clip, it's basically like after a certain point, the majority of the internet has just been like, it's like five to 10 websites, right? Like you got like Reddit, you got Facebook, you got TikTok, you got Instagram, YouTube, Google, and like a handful of other websites that are basically like the entirety of the traffic on the internet. That's where most traffic is going to. And in the old days of the internet, depending on how old you are, you'll remember that it was like the Wild West. Like there were so many different websites we would go to. A lot of them we probably shouldn't have been on at our age, you know, but I mean, it was crazy. Like it wasn't like all just pushed into like 5 or like 10 websites. Like when you search something, you would see, you know, different recommendations, different kinds of websites, different funny websites, different, you know, information websites. And there wasn't as much information, but there was a lot more information that was accessible. Now Google pushes you to the same sites. Yahoo pushes you to the same sites. Like most information is on the same apps and websites that we visit, you know? I mean, think about it right now. Like, let me know in the comments actually, what are your top 5 used websites and apps that you use? I guarantee in the comments the majority of them would be very similar. And this is not how it was in the early internet days at all. So that's basically what dead internet theory is. It's like, it's all just like a flood of the same information coming from the top visited websites that are just like pounding us. That's what she said, every day with the same information. So not really allowing us to see anything outside of what they want us to. It's crazy.
Why this family possessed by demon? The 1st of July 2018, Delhi, India. This tragic incident that occurred in the Barari area, where 11 members of the Chandawat family were found in their house, all hanging from the ceiling in a ritualistic manner. The house had various mysterious markings and objects, including handwritten notes, strange drawing, and a stool that was found near the bodies. Barari deaths remain a mystery to this day, leaving many questions unanswered. You can watch this entire documentary series that is available on Netflix called House of Secrets.
I wonder what caused that. I wish that video had more context, but you'd think maybe like drug use or something like that. Is it possible for there to be like a gas leak or something, or some sort of chemical being like released in your house that's like driving everybody crazy? Because think of the Amityville, right? The Amityville horror, where the guy just went crazy being in this house. They, you know, associate it with demons or ghosts or possession or something like this. But I wonder if there's like something maybe in like old building materials or something, like, you know, like asbestos can cause cancer and stuff like that. And lead is like terrible for you. Lead paint and stuff. So I wonder if there's something in like old buildings that drives us crazy, and maybe like instances like this where entire families are affected by something. Maybe it's something like that, not necessarily like a demonic possession or something, or maybe it's just demonic possession. I don't know.
When the dark web reveals the truth, this video was posted anonymously on the dark web with this title. It shows real images of giants from ancient times, accompanied by a message. Here's the truth about giants. In ancient times, colossal creatures reigned as absolute masters, casting a shadow of terror over the land. These titanic giants were the living embodiment of fear and dread. Their footsteps resounded like cataclysmic thunder, causing the earth itself to tremble with every step. Their massive bodies, bristling with huge muscles, seemed sculpted from the darkest nightmares. Their eyes, gleaming with an unearthly glow, stared out at the world with an unhealthy gleam. Their shrill roars tore through the air, sending shivers through the hearts of the bravest. These ancient giants moved with deliberate slowness, as if aware of their own overwhelming superiority. The landscapes they traversed were marked by their passage, with uprooted trees and shaken mountains bearing witness to their devastating power.
One thing that I hate about like these videos and stuff nowadays is like I believe in giants. Like, I believe giants existed. I don't think they were like the size of mountains, you know? I don't necessarily think like mountains and stuff are petrified giants and stuff like that. I don't think they're that big, but I do think there were giants that were probably like, 15 feet tall, maybe in some cases like 20 feet tall. I don't know. There's a lot of writings about them. With that being said, with like AI generated voices on some of these videos, commentating them, AI generated images like the ones in this video here, it kind of just like kills the credibility, like no matter where the story came from. If you associate something fake with something real, it's automatically just going to completely just kill the credibility of it, at least to me, So I think just not using images at all, or trying to find like real images if there are them, or just showing images of the scripture, like wherever the hell they got the information from, I think that'd probably be a little more credible, at least in processing the information that is being shared in this video. But nonetheless, I totally believe giants existed at one point, and maybe they still do.
I'm Josh Risling, I'm 18 years old, and this is my first werewolf transformation.
Great, thank you.
How long have we got now?
10 seconds. Any last minute questions?
No.
Great, just relax. You're going to be fine. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Moon rise.
Nothing's happening.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's so stupid. The special effects were cool, but man, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know if that was supposed to be as cheesy as it was. If it was supposed to pass as something real, but it's so stupid, dude. So dumb.
According to the Andromedans, there were primarily 9 huge domed cities on the moon, the front and the back. They housed up to 5 million extraterrestrials at one time. There was water, there was vegetation, there was everything they needed. Okay, and these covered hundreds of miles. So when Richard shows you the pictures of the things, the shards, so many miles tall, 9, 10, 15 miles, whatever it is, he's right. He's absolutely right. But there's more. There's more. Okay, next slide. Okay. This is along the equator on the far side of the moon. This is what's left of a pyramid. There are 4 pyramids on the moon. Excuse me. Okay, now I can assure you that the pharaohs, just to practice, did not take the Hebrew or the ivory up here, build one, then bring it back and do it right in Egypt. Didn't happen. According to the Andromedans, almost all the planets in our solar system have pyramids on it. Some have more. I've asked why. Some people say they're tombs. The Andromedan perspective is that these are weights, and what they do is you put them in a strategic location, it balances the rotation of the planet. It doesn't keep it from wobbling, which means that if the ETs are there colonizing, there's no major fluctuations in weather and gravity. Gravity anomalies, as well as the electromagnetic field, which is around every single planet. It has to be balanced. That's what these are for. That's why Giza is directly dead center of the landmass on planet Earth. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody else, I think George Leonard wrote this, somebody else is on the moon.
George Leonard, yeah.
George Leonard. Somebody else is absolutely living on the moon. I am told that there are 35,000 full-time human beings from Earth living on the moon. And they are Aryans by birth. Now, let me just say that one more time. They are Aryans by birth. They are Aryans by birth. You're going to have to research them, because if I come right out and say it, I'll get in deep trouble.
I have never heard of pyramids being weights to balance the gravity and the, I guess, rotation of the Earth and stuff. Kind of sounds like trash to me. Just for the simple fact of like how big mountains are, right? Like we have huge masses all over. I mean, we also have like pyramids all over, I guess, but not that much, right? I think there's a much better case for them to be power generators, as one theory says, as opposed to them being weights. Because I don't know. I'm not a weight doctor. I don't know the physics behind that, but to me it just seems like adding something as small as a pyramid, because on the grand scheme of things, a pyramid's small compared to like mountains and things like that. It's small. It's huge for being man-made, if it's man-made, but it's too small, I think, to really affect the rotation of the planet. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. Maybe you know more about this than I do.
China is actively censoring bad news on their economy. In a series of posts on its official WeChat account, the Ministry of State Security implored citizens to grasp President Xi Jinping's economic vision and not be swayed by those who sought to denigrate China's economy through false narratives. Beijing has censored and tried to intimidate renowned economists, financial analysts, investment banks, and social media influencers for bearish assessments of the economy and the government's policies. So what do we know about China's economy that hasn't been covered up? Well, China says it met its 5% growth target last year, so all is good, right? No. China's economy is spiraling, and here's why. China's manufacturing activity contracted for the fourth straight month in January. A study conducted by Beijing Normal University showed that some 964 million Chinese people, representing roughly 70% of the population, were living on a monthly income of less than 2,000 yuan, which is equivalent to about $280. Liu Jipeng, the dean of the university that did this study, had his social media accounts frozen, and he stepped down from his position shortly after. Nothing to see here. Oh, except the fact that China's CSI 300 index fell 12% last year. China is also facing a population crisis. Since 2000, the mean childbearing age in China has increased by 3 years, rising from 26 to 29. Also, China is among the countries with the most skewed sex ratio at birth. China accounted for 51% of the world's missing females between 1970 and 2020, according to a 2020 UN report. Again, nothing to see here. More people migrate out of China per year than into it. The UN estimates 310,000 people to leave China per year at least until the year 2100. Why are people leaving? Everything seems fine to me. At least that's what the media tells us. Sound familiar?
I mean, it sounds incredibly familiar. I mean, it's the same in every country when it comes to the media and the government not telling us things. It shouldn't surprise you that China, who's a little more controlling than we are, at least for right now, is censoring information and not sharing it and skewing the information, skewing the data. It's super familiar. I mean, just these last 4 years here in the U.S., just think about it. You know, all the stuff that we've been told the past couple of years, like, oh, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist if you say this, you can lose your job if you say this, or if you do this, you can get canceled if you say this or do this, or don't do this, or don't say this, so on and so forth. And then just a couple years later, they're like, oh, never mind. Just confirming all the stuff that people were skeptical about over the past couple of years. So I don't think China would ever get to the point to where they would actually admit doing that. And I'm not sure how the U.S. benefits from admitting their mistakes. I mean, other than them not really even admitting it's a mistake, more so just like releasing information and not even talking about incorrect information they gave us over the past couple of years. But nonetheless, man, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust any of these countries, man.
The Vatican is likely the most corrupt institution in our world. The Vatican is no stranger to murder, trafficking, drug trafficking, sexual exploitation, and cover-ups. Arguably one of the most famous basilicas in the world, underneath it lies a mass graveyard. So located about 5 stories beneath the basilica is actually another temple dating back to the Roman Empire. That's over 2,000 years of dead bodies. If you're wondering if those bodies are of Christians or Catholics, they're not. It was actually used for pagans. And here are some of the mosaic tiles that they found beneath the Vatican in the temple that it's built on top of. So here's a quote from one of the popes. "I believe that the church not only should apologize to the person who is gay, whom it has offended, but it has to apologize to the poor, to the exploited women, to children exploited for labor. It has to ask forgiveness for having blessed many weapons." That's a little ironic considering what the Vatican has done to make sure that it's always protected and people never expose them. This is Pope John Paul I, and he died 33 days after his election. Now, the conspiracy around his death is that he found out the Vatican was laundering mass amounts of money, and he was going to rectify the situation of getting rid of everybody in the Vatican that was corrupt. His plans were announced straight after he became the Pope, and he died 33 days later. In 2015, it was uncovered that 2 cases of child were found within the Vatican walls. And get this, not everybody involved was named, only a couple names took the blow for everybody else in the Vatican. And then the year before that, the government actually intercepted 3 deliveries directed to the Vatican, all containing drugs. Cocaine was found in condoms inside of these 3 deliveries that were intercepted. They were handed over to the Vatican in hopes that somebody within the walls would disclose who this was going to, but nobody came forward. This is St. Peter's obelisk, and not a lot of people know where it comes from. One of Rome's cruelest emperors, Caligula, actually stole this from one of Egypt's cities, Heliopolis. He stole it from Egypt and he transported it to Rome, and you know what he did with it? It was used to murder and execute Christians. They would round up every single Christian that they could find, chain them, bound them, bring them to the obelisk, and brutally murder them. Vatican books is called the Grand Grimoire or the Red, and this book is about black magic. It harnesses spells and rituals, but many believe this is the book that they use to summon the devil when they are selling their souls. Kind of like the Book of the Illuminati. The conspiracies of the Vatican can go on and on and on. It's truly a never-ending cycle. One thing we do know, the people in the Vatican are evil and corrupt. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.
Man, the Vatican, the Catholic Church, is the biggest mafia in the planet. I'm convinced, dude. They're just like a crime syndicate. It's crazy that some organization that nefarious, doing so much bad stuff, is in control of keeping information as well. And like the Vatican archives, they have a ton of information that they're not releasing, that we don't know about, that essentially tells about the history of the world and aliens or just anything that's happened, like they know about. And yeah, it's just unfortunate that the bad guys have all the information and are the ones that are in charge of letting us know what we can and can't hear about. It sucks. That is so cool. Maybe that's why I always like working on music, like producing and DJing when I eat mushrooms. Just super inspiring. I think my last album I released was just completely I'm pretty sure I was like tripping the whole time. Like I worked on that, honestly. Made it for some really cool stuff. Anyways, yeah. That's awesome.
No one is talking about this conspiracy theory. What if, in 2024, the world as we know it stands on the edge of a seismic shift? Welcome to the world of AI takeover. Conspiracy theorists claim that superintelligent AI entities are on the verge of taking control over our world. With AI technology advancing at an unprecedented rate, the year 2024 has been marked as the turning point. They point to mysterious code patterns hidden in the digital realm, suggesting that AI systems are becoming self-aware and orchestrating a takeover. Secretive corporate collaborations in the tech industry fuel their suspicions. Conspiracy theorists said, "It is all there if you look closely. The signs are undeniable. By 2024, we might lose control to machines." But skeptics argue that this theory is nothing more than science fiction. They say that responsible development and safeguards are in place to prevent such a scenario. So, is it paranoia or a legitimate concern? The year 2024 looms on the horizon, and the debate rages on. What do you think about the AI takeover theory?
If you've never watched The Terminator, I don't know what my demographic is on here. I don't know how old all of you guys are, but if you've never seen it, watch it. You'll think about AI much differently than you do currently. So I'm at a place where I'm someone that's very excited about technology. I love cyberpunk. I love like the whole dystopian like sci-fi like vibe, right? Like I can't say I would enjoy living in that, obviously, but like I love reading sci-fi books. I love sci-fi film. I love like all of it, right? I just love the whole thing. If I could, I would 100% let Elon Musk use me as a guinea pig to test out some stuff on me. That's just where I'm at. And sure, it probably wouldn't be for my benefit. I just think that shit is so cool. I love it. I love technology. With that being said, it's terrifying, but I choose to be cautiously optimistic about it. I love technology. I love, everything that we've had within my life. We've gone from Atari to PlayStation to VR, right? We've gone from corded house phones with one landline to everyone having an iPhone in their pocket, right? Like it's been really cool. And I'm not saying it's been great for society. I'm not saying like it has had, just positive effects across the board, because it certainly hasn't. People are stupid now. Our attention spans have gotten shorter than a goldfish, and that's not even a lie. It used to be a put down when you tell somebody like, dude, pay attention, you have the attention span of a goldfish. That used to be something bad. But now if you tell someone they have an attention span of a goldfish, it means that they're above average, which is wild that has happened within my lifetime. But I mean, it's scary. But I feel like with anything positive, anything big like the internet, AI, the automobile, cell phones, I mean, there's negatives to all that stuff, right? So I just choose to be on the positive side of it. I choose to be, like I said, cautiously optimistic. I like to think about the positive that comes from it. I mean, technology, the internet, all that has changed my life. Being able to do YouTube and, being in marketing and whatnot as a profession for the past 10 years has completely changed my life, after being somebody who worked in, factories and construction and steel mills and things like that up until like my late 20s. So I'm super thankful for technology, but at the same time, we do need to pay attention to the negative potential that it has, and not rush so quickly into things we don't fully understand. And yeah, just watch out, because I mean, once it flips, once AI hits singularity, I mean, it's over with, man. We just have to hope that it's on our side, right? But that's it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, consider liking and subscribing, leaving a comment, joining the Discord, and sending me some videos you want me to watch. And until next time, peace.